The Mitsubishi Triton. It's considered Australia's love it or hate it four-wheel drive ute. Love it if you've seen their true capability in off-road situations, need an affordable trader ute, or are looking for a family rig to have some fun in. Or hate it if you're a Toyota Hilux, Nissan Navara, or Ford Ranger fanboy. Either way, it seems the humble Triton is here to stay. In 2021, it is the third top-selling four-wheel drive ute behind the Ford Ranger and Toyota Hilux, outselling the Mazda BT50, the Nissan Navara, and the Isuzu D-Max. With utes in Australia now pushing $60,000 for mid-level models, the Triton offers an attractive price point compared to its competitors. It offers decent fuel economy, towing capacity, and, most importantly, excellent off-road capability. I'd like to focus on the post-2006 Tritons and offer you some information about the pros and cons of the ML-MN range of Tritons, as well as some problems you might want to keep an eye out for if you're considering purchasing one, and what upgrades you might want to install to keep you out of trouble. The Triton had a 10-year run with its MK model, but in October 2006 the newly released ML wowed the market with its spacious modern feel and significantly upgraded power figures. The four-wheel drive variants offered in single and dual cab sported the 3.2 litre 4M41T diesel with 118 kilowatt or the 3.5 litre V6 6G74 petrol motor with 135 kilowatt. The ML borrowed heavily from the Pajero when it came to driveline and technology, offering 5-speed manual and 4-speed auto for diesels and 5-speed auto for the V6 petrol. But new pollution laws were introduced in 2009, so the MN series released in October the same year. The new model had even more modern styling changes and a tub size increase. But unfortunately, the flavour of the week was global warming, and new policies killed the sales of the V6 petrol motor, leaving Triton owners with diesel as their only option. This didn't turn out too badly though. The diesel engines were downsized to a 2.5 litre 4D56 common rail unit, producing 131 kilowatts, which was 10% more powerful than the old 3.2 litre diesel. Mitsubishi claims it achieved this through changing the combustion chamber characteristics, fuel injectors, and the use of a new variable geometry turbo. Smaller engine, more power, similar fuel usage. It's not too bad of an outcome, really. The ML Tritons were exclusively assembled in Thailand. The quality was much better than the earlier MK models from the same factory. Rust in the body isn't a problem, but just check the undercarriage for 4x4 damage, especially on the rear tub of the MN. Mitsubishi extended the length of the tub in a marketing effort to offer a 1.5 metre long tub area. However, they kept the same wheelbase, which resulted in a departure angle of 22 degrees, which means the mud flaps are almost always wiped out after a challenging four-wheel drive session. If you're buying one without a rear bar or underbody protection, just check for scrapes, scratches and dents, and a continuous sized gap between the canopy and the body where the rear of the car might have shifted due to a serious bump or bang when off-roading. Mitsubishi issued a recall to check the U-bolts on the rear leaf packs of some models, as cracking occurred in the rear suspension on a few isolated incidents. It also issued a recall in June 2010 to inspect potential issues with ball joints and suspension mounts. 40,000 Tritons were affected, but if you get the VIN number of the vehicle you're thinking of purchasing, Mitsubishi can confirm if the required checks and changes have been performed. Regardless, it is advised to upgrade the rear suspension because most utes have been used as utes, and the rear suspension almost always suffers. The rear leaf packs are quite noisy in almost all models, and the bushes wear quickly, so it's better to replace and upgrade the suspension at the same time if you're buying used. When it comes to the models with Mitsubishi's Super Select 4-wheel drive system, take the time to engage and disengage 4-wheel drive mode at slow speed on a sealed road. Likewise, engage low range 4-wheel drive, if possible, on a loose surface, and check the dash lights are doing the right thing. With low range, all 4 wheels should have solid lights. If some remain flashing, 4-wheel drive is not engaged, and anything from vacuum lines, solenoids, or the pump could be the culprit. If engaging 4-wheel drive hasn't been done regularly, inadequate lube to the internals could also cause issues. It might seem like a small issue, but if you can't sort it out yourself and you send it to Mitsubishi to get the full drive system sorted, expect an exorbitant bill when it comes time to pay. The diesel engines in the Tritons are ultra reliable and have a good reputation. Many people get 500,000 kilometres or more from the diesel motors so long as servicing has been carried out regularly. That being said, the price of general oil changes and changes of oil, air and fuel filters can be pricey. And if you're brave enough to purchase genuine filters or have Mitsubishi perform the service, prepare for an eye-watering bill. Filter kits online can offer a decent discount if you order them before the service is due or are performing the service yourself, or wait until Supercheap or other vendors have oil or filter discounts and grab everything you need then. When it comes to the Petrol V6, beware that all Mitsubishi V6s like to guzzle fuel, like 15 to 20 litres per 100 kilometres in some cases, and even more when towing. If you're looking at a petrol Triton, just check the rocker cover gasket for oil leaks, as it's a common problem with the Mitsubishi V6s that are consistently towing or under heavy load. When you're looking at a Triton that has already had a lift kit fitted, and where the owner has gone above a 50mm or 2-inch lift, you need to check the tail shaft centre bearing. The centre bearing is notoriously difficult to change out at home on the driveway. The bearing itself is pretty affordable, however the labour of getting it changed out is expensive. Listen for noise, whining or clunking when shifting from drive to reverse. If there's any sign of noise, you best factor the price of fixing that centre bearing into your buy price. Personally, I'd install an Egr Blanking Plate, the type that blocks the tube on the side of the intercooler, and then get the engine foam cleaned. This will remove carbon buildup present in all diesel engines and stop the half-full carbon oil buildup from entering the intake. I've seen Egr delete cables available, but I've never tried one. Also, if you're handy enough to fit an oil catch can that has a drain, this is highly recommended for any diesel. It isn't necessary to do either of these mods, but it prolongs engine life in all diesels, and I make a habit of performing these two mods to any diesel I purchase. Some of the high-end Tritons have optional Diff locks. If you can find one, these work exceptionally well off-road. If not, you can install an auto locker for less than $500. I'd put a front locker in. Or go the more expensive route and get an air locker like an ARB or an Eaton on the front or rear or both. Bang for buck, lockers would be my second upgrade after larger tyres, and torture tests have proven they get you further off-road per dollar spent than most other off-road mods. Many of the Tritons have a 3.9 diff ratio, but if you're keen to change these, change them out with a 4.1 Pajero centre, which give better torque at low revs and work particularly well if you run larger than stock tyre diameters. The 2.5 litre turbo diesel seems a bit laggy and underpowered, particularly since the towing capacity of a Triton is 3 tonne. If you have the money, invest in a good 3-inch exhaust system, and with the bulk dollars you save not buying a Hilux or Navara, you could even get her chipped and tuned. If the budget is tight, there's many good reviews about throttle controllers fitted to Tritons, and they're super affordable and easy to fit yourself. This will liven up the throttle, but beware, like all throttle controllers, it's likely your fuel usage will also increase. All in all, the Triton is a solid contender to its nearest competitors, the Hilux and Navara. If you're willing to look past the stigma in the 4x4 world that is cast upon Tritons, you'll find an affordable ute that is suited well to being a tradies daily, a family tourer, or a trail warrior on the weekends. You never really hear about catastrophic failure of any Triton, and like most Mitsubishis, they are considered reliable in harsh Australian conditions, if you can look past the expensive servicing costs and high cost of genuine parts should anything break. Hit up your favourite beach, mud pit or rock climbing area and guarantee the attitude of Triton blokes is always the same. They're there to give it a good crack, have fun, and to meet other guys they can take home for some bloke on bloke action. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.